street in Holyoke, Massachusetts. If you had come out here from 1869 to 1875, there would have been a wooden church across the street from us. It was the Precious Blood Church. It was wooden. And what happened, the church did fine for 6 years. It served the French-Canadian population of all of Holyoke, and this became a major neighborhood to be in. But on May the 27th of 1875, at about 6 p.m., there was a candle in the front of the church that a young girl tried to put out, but she was not able to. And there were drapery on all the walls of the church because they had never painted the church. And they never put tar paper on it. They had never painted the outside, so it had been drying out for 6 years. And so the candle ignited all the drapery, and then ignited all the walls. Within 10 minutes, the total church was gone, and 70 people were dead. This is the biggest tragedy in the history of Holyoke. It happened right where those 2 trees are. Those used to be where the stairwells were. Of course, all was gone, but starting in that year, they would then have a church over along the side, a brick church that would last from 1875 to 1889, 114 years. It served the French-Canadian community. Even in the beginning, when they weren't finished with the church, in 1875 they could have the basement being used. But by 1878, it was being fully used by all masses. Now, there used to be stairwells there, and they're gone, but you can kind of see where the slope of the land goes upwards. Also, there used to be a gravestone there, and Andre Dufresne was buried there. And when the church was taken down in 1889, he was moved to the Precious Blood Cemetery in South Hadley, Massachusetts. His full body and memorial stone are there, along with the parishioners, because out of 70 people, about 48 of them were buried in South Hadley. Now, you also see the 1891 rectory. They tried to make a beautiful rectory, and it is. You can see there's dome on it. I think it's a Russian flare dome because in 1891 there was a World Fair with a Russian style to the whole fair. And so this was beautifully done. It was made by the third pastor, Charles Clavier. He ended up giving his home in Granby out to the Franciscan people, and they made it into a monastery and school. Okay, now that's not all that was here. On this side, in this green area right here, was the original convent from 1881, and the boys' school and the girls' school. So the girls' school was on the left, the convent in the middle, and then the boys' school on the right. What they did was they had a couple priests serve the boys, some Notre Dame nuns served the girls because they couldn't do boys. But by 1886, the nuns, the St. Anne's nuns of de Lachine from Quebec had come down, and they stayed 103 years serving the Precious Blood School community. So this was a very active area. This is still open. What came in here after the nuns had a new convent built inside the Park Street School is Calix Blake renovated the convent into what was a funeral home. And Blake Funeral Home was here for about 80 years. He also moved up to Fairview of Chicopee and had a second one there, and that became the only one once 1980 came around and they took down everything here. So this was the start of the Precious Blood campus. Of course, the most tragic story of all is that poor church that burned and the 70 people died. Well, thank you for coming on this stop.